What's up, y'all? This is your girl Mandy, and we're back with another episode of Mandy's Reviews. Today, we are going to go over Keyshia Cole, This Is My Story movie. Now, when I first heard that Keyshia Cole was getting a movie, I kind of had mixed feelings because Keyshia is a star. Don't get me wrong, she makes great music. But to me, Keyshia Cole's been very quiet these past few years, and her music was not really selling like her old stuff was. But at the same time, she's been out a long time. She's been out since 2004, 2005. And believe it or not, that's like almost 15 years ago. No, 16 years ago. No, 18 years ago? God, I can't count. But yes, this is her review for her movie, This Is My Story. It was just released yesterday. As you guys know, that Lifetime does the movie biopics. And to me, honestly, those movies can be hit or miss. I mean, it was a hit when they did Wendy Williams' movie, but it was a miss when they did Aaliyah's movie some years back. But again, the movie is basically about her life story growing up in Oakland, how she got famous, how she got discovered, and all that good stuff. Also, this movie covers when she was getting famous and all that stuff. It also covered the addiction of her biological mother, Frankie. If you guys watch her old reality show back in the day, it was on BET. It was a raw reality show. It showed everything. It's not like these reality shows now where it's like obviously it's scripted, like Love and Hip Hop and all that stuff, but it showed everything so raw. Like I remember watching an episode and her mother was in jail. Like they took the cameras in jail with her. You know what I mean? So it also showed Frankie getting out of post jail and her addiction, and it also covered how she passed away and how they handled the funeral and everything. Now, as I stated before, I was a little shaky when I first heard this announcement, not only because Keyshia Cole music, but again, the Aaliyah situation. It kind of messed me up, the whole Aaliyah movie. And I remember people saying, Lifetime never do the biopics ever again and leave it to BET. I think if it was done by BET, it would have been like a little bit better and a little bit more accurate. But I can't take it away that the fact, because Keyshia was actually involved in producing the movie, so I'm not going to be like too hard on it. So some of the concerns I had going into watching this movie. Unfortunately, I had to wait a day to watch the movie because I didn't have time to watch it on Saturday. The first concern I had was Debbie Morgan's portrayal of Frankie. I just want to know, why was Debbie Morgan, who is a very talented actress, don't get me wrong, super talented, why was she chosen? Just a general why. Why was Debbie Morgan chosen to play Frankie? I was concerned that Keyshia was going to talk about the death row times. If you guys didn't know, Keyshia Cole was kind of affiliated with Death Row Records, so I wanted to talk about that. And she was pretty young when that was going on, so I wasn't sure if that kind of traumatized her or anything like that. But I was concerned because she was going to talk about that. And like any other biopic you see on TV or in the movie theaters, they do leave out parts, so I'm always concerned about that. So what I liked about the movie, it showed every aspect of her personal life. Now, yes, it showed her career. I should add this to what I didn't like, was that they kind of hopped albums real quick. But they didn't really mention Just Like You album. I can add that in there too. There was no talk of that, but they remember talking about, The Way It Is, that's the first album. Just Like You was the next album, and then they just kind of hopped to the later albums, of course, when her stardom got bigger than normal. But they did talk about the aspect of her relationships. They opened up about her marriage to Daniel Bowie Gibson, and how they met, when they got married, when they had their child. And then they talked about how she met Nico Hale, and how they met, and how they had their baby and how they broke up, because I never knew how they broke up. I know it's like none of my business, but I never knew how they broke up. And it was as clear as day to me because, I'm not a stranger to breakups. I've kind of broken up with someone a long time ago the same way she broke up with Nico in the movie, so I understand. Her children were involved, of course, her children were involved. And it also talks about the relationship with her siblings. Now, if you guys go back to the old days of The Way It Is and Frankie and Neffy and all those shows on BET back in the day, I was pretty young and I didn't understand. But every time I watched The Way It Is, it always seemed like Neffy was always snapping on someone. If it was either Keyshia or Frankie or her sister Elite, all that stuff. But this movie kind of made sense to me. Why? Because she said in the film that you all were put in nice families and I wasn't, and she went through a lot of stuff. She didn't go into detail about that, but so that's why I guess I understand now, like if I go back and I watch the scenes, like it's not on YouTube, I can't find it anywhere, but sometimes I scroll through TikTok and they just post old scenes and stuff, and just Neffy starts yelling at everyone. So watching this movie kind of it makes me understand like why she was like that, and I hope she finds healing in that too. Another thing I liked about the Keyshia's movie was that Keyshia got to play herself, and I do like when the main characters or whoever the movie is based off, they get to play themselves. Fantasia did it in her movie that came out like years ago, probably 2006. I want to say just like Keyshia, she produced the movie. I'm not sure, but I know for sure Keyshia produced this movie, so she was heavily involved in this. In the movie, it was revealed that Frankie was a singer, and she sang this song. And in the end, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the movie, I don't know why you're watching this, but go ahead. She went in the recording booth and she sang the song, and that is kind of a tearjerker because again, Frankie is no longer with us on this earth. She did pass away in 2021, so that was a really nice touch to the movie. What I didn't like about the movie was her death row situation was mentioned very briefly, like in one line. That's it. They didn't talk about how they opened the movie with her walking the streets of Oakland and getting money for her helping Frankie when she was in her addiction, all that stuff. They didn't really talk about how she got down there and all that stuff. The movie kind of made her adoptive mother look bad to me. Of course, when Keyshia went out to go help Frankie, that's something out of her heart. And I get, I think I owe Keyshia Cole an apology because I used to think Keyshia Cole was so mean. Just by the way, sometimes I see how she interacts with people and stuff. But once I watched that movie, I kind of like side with her. Like, she's kind of like me because, there's always a troubled family member or a troubled friend I have, and I try to help them as best as I can. And sometimes, people around you be like, why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't help that person. But Keyshia never gave up on her mother, and it was just so sad when, Frankie passed away in the movie. But they made her mother look so mean and so bad, but I know her parents did a good job with her. Her adoptive parents, of course, did a really good job with her. I know that in my heart. But luckily in the movie, towards the end, Yvonne Cole, whoever played her character, called Keyshia and she said she was sorry, and, that was resolved and everything. So I do give this movie a 5.5 stars. It's a Lifetime biopic, so that's why I'm a little shaky on it. Keyshia Cole was involved, so I do like that. Unlike the Aaliyah biopic, which was unauthorized. The Wendy Williams biopic was authorized, so with Lifetime, as long as it's an authorized biopic, it's perfectly fine with me. But yeah, so that's the end of my review for the Keyshia Cole movie. Thank y'all so much for listening. Have a good day. Bye.